NFL Week 4 is basically starting today with Thursday Night Football. So, with that being said, let's get into our Week 4 picks for the season. I'm excited to go through today. I've got a lot of upsets ahead, at least compared to what I've had before, and I'm ready. And we got a great Thursday night matchup this week. You know, one of the top teams in the league in the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Cincinnati to face off against the Bengals, who actually have some young, exciting pieces. But we will get to watch Jamal Agnew, so I guess that's a plus.
Yeah. By top team in the league, Jacksonville Jaguars, do you mean like top of the draft order right now, or
Yes, I do. That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's two bright sides in this game: Jamal Agnew and Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection. After that, this is gonna be an ugly game. I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch Tyler Shelvin just be a blob of human.
A blob of human.
I mean, there's not really much to be looking forward to in this game. Cincinnati, I mean, they look like they're above competent at least. Jacksonville, below competent. So, you know, I don't really think it'd be outlandish for me to say that I've got Cincinnati in this game.
Yes, sadly, this is not one of my first upsets of the week. And we're going to have another team sitting with 3 wins after Thursday night, potentially. That really is another team, even though the other teams are 3-0 and not 3-1. That is like, wow, I think your record is lying a little bit. I think that's a little too aggressive here. But with that being said, you play who's on your schedule. And I'm picking Cincinnati to beat the Jaguars on Thursday night. Hopefully the Jaguars can make it interesting. I don't even care if the Jaguars win the game. That's the best thing about Thursday night football. But we haven't gotten the Thursday night game wrong yet, and we've agreed on every single one. So we'll see if that can change this week. Games for Sunday. This is another game that includes one of the least interesting teams in the league, and that is the New York Jets. The Tennessee Titans are traveling to play the New York Jets. What are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, I got the Titans winning this one. That's about it. I don't really think I have to justify it. The Jets look like I mean, compared to other teams, the Giants are bad as well. And the Giants, I think, are worse run than the Jets, but the Jets don't have a chance against the Titans.
Yeah, like, I could go into this, but I kind of feel the exact same way as you do. Like, I'm picking the Titans. I don't even know what to say, like, to give the Jets fans hope. You're the home team. Don't boo Zach Wilson, and maybe you'll put a touchdown on the board this week.
There's not a lot of tape on Zach Wilson. Corey Davis used to practice every day against that Titans defense. He knows the ins and outs of it.
Maybe, but that secondary's revamped and a lot better too. I wouldn't be so quick to make that assumption. Okay, now some real interesting games, like, you know, just that don't include some of the worst teams in the league, but include, you know, not great teams either. And that's perfectly
this next game.
That's perfectly illustrated by this game. Neither of these teams are the worst teams in the league. But jeez,
it's just funny that you said that. Like, no, they're the worst teams in the league. Now we're going Detroit against Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Lions at Bears. Go first. Go ahead.
Matt Nagy has not done well to set the team up for success with his play calling, and also Justin Fields has had some bumps in the road, being the leader of this offense. The defense has looked good in every game. I will give them that. It's really hard to look fantastic when you're on the field for almost the whole game. I don't think that will be a problem in this one, but at the same time, the Lions have played way better teams than the Bears have these first 3 weeks, and they've kept every single one of them close. And all that the Lions need is just one hiccup from the Bears. And the Bears, they're going to have way more than one hiccup for them to capitalize on it. I think the Lions are going to win this one in an upset.
Yeah, I'm going with you. The Lions are the hot hand. The Bears are completely the cold hand. They don't feel prepared to play. It feels like if you're gonna go with the Bears, you're going with the team that's like just kind of down on themselves. I don't know if that's actually the vibe that's like being given off by the team, but geez, nationally that's definitely the vibe you're getting. Detroit, you look at their opponents, like we said, they played impressive opponents the first 3 weeks of the season, and they kept them all much closer than we thought they were going to be. There's no reason to think that they wouldn't be able to stay competitive against the Bears. And their opponents, the first few weeks of the season, were putting points on the board, and they were keeping up with them. The Bears have not been putting points on the board. There's no reason the Lions can't outscore the Bears and win this game. It's in Chicago. That's the only thing that may swing it a little bit. I'm going upset Lions as well.
It feels weird to call that game an upset because it feels like the Bears are the underdog in that one, just with how they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Next game, Colts at Dolphins.
This one is a double feature for me with my choices. I don't know if we can do that, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna bite the bullet. If I lose it, if I win it, I profit. This one's gonna be an upset and a lock for me. I'm picking the Colts. I'm gonna say that straight up right now. I got the Colts winning this one, and that might be a little out there, but the Dolphins have not looked great these first 3 weeks. They have not looked good at all. I mean, specifically the game against the Bills. That Bills team was not even good in that one, and they shut them out and put up 35 points. They barely snuck past the Patriots. They forced OT against the Raiders. And I mean, with who the Raiders have played, and we talked about this in our last episode, with who the Raiders have played and the situations of those teams, specifically I'm saying the Ravens, but the other teams that they've played, they haven't really been good. The Colts, on the other hand, have played good teams in each of their first 3 games. I think, I mean, the one thing that could help Miami is Jacoby Brissett. I don't know how much of a revenge game this is for him. I don't know how much ill will he has towards the Colts. And I feel like the Colts know Jacoby Brissett better than Jacoby Brissett knows the Colts. Or, in a sense there. Like, he knows that defense. He's practiced against it. But I think that defense can know his tendencies way easier than he's going to know theirs. So, I got the Colts winning it.
This is the game all offseason. Most of the offseason. I said right at the tail end I switched it. But most of the offseason I was pretty sure that this is going to be that one game a year we get that's a tie. I think that's still on the table with where these teams are at. I am not as confident as you to just straight up go, I'm locking this team to win the game. But I'm going with the Colts as well. If I'm confident enough that they can tie the game on the road, I don't see any reason that I shouldn't be confident enough that they can't outright win it. I think if you're willing to say that teams are on an even playing field when one team is the home team, I don't know. I'm leaning the away team in this one for that reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe other people would say to do the opposite, but that's really what I'm getting at. And even though neither of these guys are great quarterbacks, I'd also say I'd give the advantage slightly to Carson Wentz over Jacoby Brissett, yes. Which isn't that huge, but yeah, I'm going upset Colts win in this one.
Yeah.
Browns at Vikings. What are you looking at here?
This is 2 teams whose offenses consist of chewing down the clock and forcing the other team's hands to make mistakes because of the lack of time. Thing with the Vikings is Dalvin Cook's banged up and he might not even play on Sunday. That's really going to hurt their plans of just working the ball down the field. Cleveland, they don't have any of those dings in their offense. Jarvis isn't there, but as long as you got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you can work your way down the field. I'm going to go with the Browns here, though Kirk Cousins has surprised me in these past 2 games. I'm more impressed with his performance against the Cardinals. Just his ability to work the ball downfield with little time on the clock to put the team in scoring position to win the game. The kicker just couldn't pull through there. But I think Cleveland can put points up with volume and consistency. And that's something that like a Seahawks team that they played last week couldn't. Like Seahawks score in spurts. I think the Browns can just get the ball and just have consistent drives that either chew up the clock and they put up points or chew up the clock and then they pin them deep with a punt.
The reason I've said all off season that I like Minnesota, and I'm not ready to like say that they're going to be a bad team this year still, um I still think that they're a quality team, is really because I think they generally have a complete roster. They don't have any holes that I can point to immediately and be like, this is an area of weakness that's super easy to exploit for an opponent. The Browns are that on steroids. I said Browns matching up against the Vikings. I'm picking the Browns all the way. They're in terms of their quality of the quality of the players they have at different positions. Even though both teams are complete teams, the quality is much higher if you look at the Browns. I'm guessing the only position group that I'd say is arguably in favor of the Vikings when looking at this matchup head to head is probably wide receiver. Even then, depth pretty lacking for the Vikings, and Harrison Smith at the safety position also makes it an argument, but still, depth definitely not as good as the Browns. So, I mean, it may be a straight sweep in terms of looking at every position across the board and just saying the Browns are better, even though I'm also think that both of these teams are generally pretty well-rounded groups. I'm going Cleveland.
All right, all right.
Washington at Atlanta.
Yeah, both of these teams, I should say both of them. Washington has been underwhelming. They have not been good on the one side of the ball that I thought they were going to be elite at. And I mean, Atlanta can take advantage of that, and I could see them doing it, but the offense has not been like really humming as I thought it would be these past couple of weeks, because I thought Atlanta was just going to be able to like torch teams on offense and then lose games because they can't stop anyone. Um, this can be a good pick-me-up game for the football team, I think. Just you're going against a terrible team. No, I shouldn't say terrible. You're going up against a team that is not as good as but you're as you.
Yeah, they're not terrible because they beat the Giants, and the Giants are the qualification of terrible.
Yeah,
and Washington barely beat the Giants as well.
Yes.
So I mean, they're both just above terrible. They're both just above the terrible tier.
Yeah, and I'm going with Washington just because defense is better. I mean, it might have not shown that it's better, but the talent on the defensive side is way better than Atlanta's, and Washington's offense is still able to move the ball well, and it seems like Atlanta's just stagnates at times. So I'm going with the football team.
Yeah, man. Even though you said you were less enthusiastic about Taylor Heineke after last week, I'm not. I am worried that the Falcons' offense is trending in the right direction, while the football team defense is trending in the wrong direction. If Atlanta starts to actually get their offense going and puts a lot of points on the board, this becomes nerve-wracking to me because I don't love asking Taylor Heineke to need to put 30 on the board. But generally, I don't think that'll happen. It's possible, though. That's why I pointed out. I don't think that'll happen. And I think Taylor Heineke will just need to be decent enough. I mean, I think 21, definitely 24 points on the board would be enough to win this game for the football team. And Atlanta's offense hasn't really been able to put that together yet, so I'll go football team in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, Texans at Bills.
Okay. I'm going to give you reasons why the Texans are going to win this game. All right. 1, they're coming off extended rest. All right. Second team in a row to go against the Bills coming off extended rest. So they've had more time to game plan. 2, lack of film on Davis Mills. All right. The Bills aren't going to know how to game plan for this kid. They've got one game of film on him, and how can the Bills replicate something that the best defense in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers, did? They don't have the personnel to do that. They don't. Reason number 3, Kaimi Fairbairn. All right, I'm gonna stop messing around here. It's through the first 3 weeks, I've picked the team against the Bills the last 2, and the Bills have won. The Bills are my team. If this is what I need to do in order for the Bills to win games, then I will take an L every single week in picking the team to
when
upset
you
them.
reveal the secret, it doesn't work anymore. So now you're
I
actually
said it last week. I said it last week. So it doesn't matter. Your point's moot. So I'm picking the Texans here in an upset against the Bills in Orchard Park.
no, because I mean, last week you pointed it out, but you didn't as directly state. Yes, the only reason I'm picking them is because I
It
think
was
the Bills
already
will
out
win.
there. It was already out there.
Ooh, I'd watch out. Maybe now. Maybe
Hey,
now it
dude,
doesn't
get
work.
this right. See, I told you this for the Miami game. I don't lose. I don't lose in this
No,
situation.
you lose. If the Bills lose to the Texans, you lose. I'm taking the
No,
Bills. Giants at Saints.
Giants at Saints. I got the Saints. We said this 2 games ago with Washington and Atlanta. The Giants are like the baseline for terrible. So you just need Jameis to like not throw 4 picks, and I think he can pull this one out, Saints.
See, there's no reason that the Saints should lose this game.
All the more reason for the Saints to lose it.
But week 1, week 2, week 3, it has to average out. It has to. And the Giants have played some close games. Just like the Minnesota Vikings. Which means that they'll probably beat the Saints by like 30 this week. So, with that being said, I'm taking the Giants purely because I need the Saints. I need the Saints to just always be able to flatline at the end of the season. Like this is 500, and we are going to have like so many peaks and valleys of like extremely good and extremely bad. We're getting extremely bad this week, and I mean, we're only 3 weeks in, so it's not a huge sample size, but that's actually how it's gone the first 3 weeks of the season, which is absolutely hilarious. So I'm rooting for the trend to continue. I'm taking the Giants, even though I would not endorse taking the Giants. Like, if you just told me, okay, the Giants are going up against any random choice of the 31 NFL teams right now, and you just said, who are you picking? And I'm like, I'm picking the Giants no matter who they're landing against. Or sorry, I'm picking the other team no matter who the Giants are landing against. But just specifically because the Saints won big last week, they need to return to the mean, and I'm going upset Giants.
Okay. So you've realized that you're allowed one weird upset game because I'm always gonna pick the team against the Bills now.
Oh no, no.
You just actually feel this way.
No, I mean, well, okay, let's talk about this. If I go 10-6, last week, I picked 3 games as upsets. I got 2 of them right? And then that means that I got two of them right and 1 of them wrong. I mean, going 10-6 means that there were 6 upsets. Just like simply. So, if there were 6 upsets, and that's generally how it's gone. Basically, the first 3 weeks of the season, we've seen a lot more than just 3 or 4 upsets each week. You need to find reasons to pick the underdogs, and I guess that'll be my reason to pick against the Saints this week, just because they need to return to average.
All right. Sure.
I'm trying to beat you. I'm not picking against the Bills if I think the Bills are going to win. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, I gotta make sacrifices to see my team succeed.
Absolutely. Man, we just extended that conversation by like a minute and 15 seconds. Chiefs, Eagles.
Yeah, I'm also going with the upset in this one here. I'm going with the team that's 1-2, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good one. I like that.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they're coming off a tough skid of 2 games where they have lost. I seriously cannot picture them losing this game. I tried to do it for the meme where it's like, yeah, both these teams are coming off tough losses, but Philly's at home. I can't even try to lie my way into picking against the Chiefs here. Because of how bad the Eagles secondary is, purely because of that. I don't even have to look at any other unit on that team. It's just like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is going to eat that alive. And Josh Gordon's back, baby. He's back. So I'm expecting him to feast with back-to-back-to-back 200-yard receiving games.
I would love to see that. Huge Josh Gordon supporter. I am. The Eagles week 1 played against our favorite team, the Falcons.
Got that right.
Yeah. And they put up a good fight against them, putting 31 on the board. Week 2 though, they only put 11 on the board against the Niners team at home, which is like, okay, 11's kind of terrible though for a home game. And then they put up 21 Monday night against the Cowboys, but one of those was a spotted touchdown that they were given because Dak fumbled in the end zone, so that's not going towards the offense's point total. And the Dallas defense isn't anything too crazy, so 14 from the offensive side of the ball isn't very impressive. Everything I'm saying is not making me think that they're going to be able to keep up with the Chiefs score for score. And honestly, even if the Chiefs continue to do their mess of turnovers that they've been doing, I don't even think they'd be able to turn the ball over enough to lose this game to the Eagles. So this is like a strong pick for the Chiefs. But as we discussed with our locks, if we're that strongly picking a team, we can't lock them. But realistically, if like this actually was eligible to be locked, this would be like the strongest one by far of the week. But I don't think it's eligible. Not even
Stronger
close.
than Titans at Jets. Stronger than Titans at Jets.
Probably only because the Titans are a team that has in the past shown a tendency to just have terrible weeks. Absolutely atrocious weeks. So yeah, I'd say it would be a stronger pick than that even.
Okay.
Panthers at Cowboys. I'm interested where you go here.
Yeah, a 3-0 team going in Jerry World. Cowboys were really looking good last week, but at the same time they looked good and they were playing at like 50% their actual potential against the Eagles. If they can hit it in stride and like play at 100% what they can, I don't see them losing to the Panthers. And also McCaffrey going down, that hurts them really, really bad. Like I don't know how to like make this analysis sound more in depth or anything, but the Cowboys offense is looking really good. The defense has stepped up when it's needed to. Trevon Diggs has looked awesome the past couple of weeks. So I'm going with the Panthers. The Panthers, I think, are in for a wake up call. They're playing against like an actual team now.
You're going with the Panthers?
No, I'm going with the Cowboys. Sorry, I'm going with the Cowboys.
I was gonna say everything you said did not make you think.
I misspoke there. I got the Panthers in for a wake up call in my head when I was going to say who I was picking. But yeah, I got the Cowboys winning this one.
Gotcha. Sorry, you're not getting this game. You're not right about this game. You're completely missing the mark.
Oh no! Oh, why couldn't you warn me? I would have picked the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm locking up the Cowboys. So you're welcome, Panthers fans. Yeah, no, this is the game I'm the most confident in, and if we've learned anything, confidence is the worst thing in the world. So, yeah, I mean, basically all the reasons you said. I mean, the Panthers have played against a lot of fake teams that have gotten them up to 3-0, artificially boosting them. The Cowboys have played tough teams. Minus the Eagles, and looked competent against the two tough teams they played against, and beat the team handedly that we would say is worse competition against them. So with that being said, they've looked the part. The Panthers have just beat up on bad teams, and they lost a lot of important players last Thursday night. The reason you could go with the Panthers, I guess the fact that they have extended rest, and the fact that maybe you could say that since Sam Darnold has been able to throw for 300 yards in the first 3 games, he'll be able to throw for a ton of yards again. But I'm just really having a hard time imagining the Panthers winning this game in a shootout, and I feel like that's what it'd have to be. And I've been completely wrong about every game that I've labeled as a lock so far, so I guess the real score prediction is probably like 10-7 Panthers final.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm going to empty out my bank account after this recording and put all my money on the Panthers to win.
and take the under on the over under.
and take the under. I'm gonna put like a 15-way parlay on this game and make a bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's gonna be. I'm very interested in this game because, like we said, I think the Cowboys are a good team this year, and the Panthers are a good team that we've got some asterisks next to for the time being.
Yeah, yeah.
Next game, Seahawks at Niners. What are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that this is a no-brainer, but I feel like that would be disingenuous to the Seahawks by saying that. San Fran has a defense, and the games where Seattle's had to go up against a defense where there is even just a decent amount of talent on it, they've kind of struggled. Uh, and also, I think San Fran's going to want to bounce back from that loss against Green Bay. It's at home too for San Fran. Unless something crazy happens and like Trey Lance ends up getting the starting job, which people are like calling for because Jimmy G didn't win the game last week by 50 points. I don't see San Fran not winning this game.
It's a division matchup. These ones are always close. Even before the season, when I had I had San Fran going like 15-2 or whatever for the year because we like their schedule and stuff. I had one of those losses coming against Seattle. Seattle's at 1-2 right now, which is a worse record than how they've played. Russell Wilson has been playing out of his mind as he does in the early season, as per usual. These games usually can swing either way in the division, and I don't feel too bad picking a Seattle team in this one that has, been on the wrong side of some tough matchups. So they're at 1-2 right now. I'd be really surprised to see them drop to 1-3. I'm picking Seattle for the upset.
Okay.
Next game, Cardinals at Rams. Now, this is MVP Kyler Murray versus, the best team in football. So where are you going?
Going with the best team in football.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, that it's really cool. Cliff Kingsbury with his play sheet of just let Kyler do whatever he wants. Like, yeah, that's dope. That works against the teams that they've played against. But when Sean McVay has a play sheet that then like scrolls out and it goes all the way out to like midfield with how many plays he has, and he can call with the personnel on his team because he's actually creative and a good coach. Yeah, that's killer. And also, the Rams have a better defense than the Cardinals too. So I'm going with the Rams here.
Yeah. Once again, going back to Minnesota because they're a good mark for me. Quality team all around. But the Rams, in terms of having an offensive coordinator that can really get the most out of their talent, really push the Rams to be a much more favorable team than Minnesota. Minnesota put up something like 33 against this Arizona defense. I talked about the fact that I wanted the Rams to finally put up 40 against somebody. I think the Cardinals are a good opponent to do it against. The Rams are the home team. Helps them even more. And Kyler Murray may still look good, but he's having some turnover issues. I think it's going to be very hard to keep pace with this Rams team and also to not turn the ball over in the process and have that hurt you significantly. So, yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well. Next game, Steelers at Packers.
This can be a dangerous game because Aaron Rodgers can just end up throwing it to the guys he wants to this game. I think he recognizes that he can. So that might be dangerous if he just picks like, I want to get Bobby Tunyon like 200 yards this game. Sure. That could be dangerous and result in a loss for them. But I need to stay on brand. I picked against Pittsburgh every week. I'm going to pick against them here. I'm picking Green Bay at home. Ben Roethlisberger is falling apart. The wheels are coming off of him. I don't know how successful a team can be. Like the Titans exist, but that offense is being ran purely through Najee Harris, and I don't know how successful that can be for a 17 game season. When it comes to like winning games on a consistent basis, you might be able to get one or two or three the whole season. But I just don't see them beating Green Bay with that game plan.
I'm really surprised that you're even like any bit hesitant to pick the Packers in this. I'm going Packers all the way, and I'm not really too worried about it. It would take Aaron Rodgers dramatically underestimating this defense, which I don't think anybody is looking at this defense being like, oh, geez, there's nothing to worry about against me at all. I think he'll be plenty prepared for the game, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. They've still got a lot of ways that they can figure out how to do stuff on offense, and frankly, they only need to put up 18 points to win this game, so I think they can do that, and I'm going with the Packers in this one.
All right.
Next game is, the Ravens at the Broncos. So this is a game that I actually needed to look up the spread for because I really didn't know who would be the favorite in this game. But it's the Broncos by 1.5 points. So what do you got here?
Oh, that's the case. Hold on. I gotta add to my key here real quick because I'm picking the Ravens in an upset.
Yeah, that's why I had to look it up.
Yeah, I'm picking the Ravens in an upset against the Broncos. Yeah, it sucks that you said that because I was gonna make a joke about like the Ravens or like a team here finally gets to play an actual team, and that's the Ravens. They're playing an actual team in the Broncos. But the Broncos, that they've done their job and have blown out bad teams. I just don't know how well it's really hard to figure that out. At least for me, when I sat down and was filling this out, and I was thinking, this game can be close, but how just like demolishing terrible teams? How does that like compare to going up against a good team when we know that the Broncos roster, like I shouldn't say the Broncos roster, when the Broncos QB situation isn't that great for them to beat really good teams like the Ravens. Both the teams like run their offenses kind of the same way. Now I'm just with a clock management kind of way of like we're going to eat up clock and score points. Like Teddy Bridgewater, if he can consistently put 21 points on the board every game, the Broncos are going to be more than happy with that. The Ravens, though, they can kick their offense into high gear if they need to, and I think that's going to be the death of the Broncos in multiple games this season. It's really hard to like kick Teddy in the rear end and say, all right, come on, run the offense faster, get some chunk plays here, because he isn't built to do that. So that's why I think the Ravens are going to win this one.
I mean,
in an upset.
The Broncos are 1.5 point favorites. That's as close to a pick'em game as you can get. This is one that I'm gonna say if I lose, I'm gonna be kicking myself either way because I don't feel too strongly either way because the things that I think the Ravens have done well in the past that would generally make me like think that they should be able to handle this game, they haven't been doing too well, and then the things that I would say have held the Broncos back in the past. Not necessarily make them great now, because once again, still don't think that's that strong of a 3-0 record, considering the competition they've played. But they've looked clean in all the games they played. That's going to make it tough to lose if they just play a clean game and can put something like 26 points on the board again. That may be tough for the Ravens to beat against the Broncos defense. So this one's really close. But yes, that is why I did mention that the Broncos were favorites, because I've got the Ravens in an upset, and honestly, it's so close, man. And honestly, I'm half like sitting here right now, I'm half like, I want to pick the Broncos, but I changed my pick last week and it got me it wrong. Let me just keep my pick this week And if I get it wrong, it was at least like I kept it. I didn't change it to get it wrong. If I changed it to get it wrong, that would really hurt more. So
Yeah.
we'll keep this one, okay? So yeah, another upset. Then Sunday Night Football, Buccaneers at Patriots. Come on, tell me how much the Bucs are gonna win by.
Well, I do have the Buccaneers winning. The thing for it though with me, both these teams, I shouldn't say both these teams. Brady and Belichick know each other very well. Uh, the thing when it comes to that is though, since Brady knows Belichick so well, he knows how that offense is going to be run, and he can feed Todd Bowles all the information he wants to about that Patriots offense. He knows that defense very well because he's had to practice against it for the past 20 years. So he already knows. He can tell receivers how to get open and stuff and all that. Uh and well, Joe Judge isn't there anymore, so the special teams expertise might be. I mean, Bill Belichick did talk about for like 55 minutes in a press conference like a couple weeks ago about the importance of the long snapper and how it's become a specialized position. Which I mean, I love Bill Belichick for that. And then I looked at it from the Patriots' perspective. I'm like, Bill Belichick knows Tom Brady. That's it. He has to watch film and gather information off of everything else. And I think just when you translate those knowledges and pit just those against each other and you don't even look at the teams, I mean, once you add that in, the Buccaneers have a far better team talent-wise. I did not go with the Buccaneers, but I'm not going to blame you if you pick New England because you need to get another upset in.
I don't need to get another upset in.
You want to.
Oh, I want to. I absolutely want to pick New England. Belichick, over the years, has came up with some game plans in moments where it's just like everybody else is sitting here like, man, there's no way to stop this team. Like, what are you going to do to be able to figure these guys out? Most recently, I mean, how did he just completely figure out Sean McVay in that Super Bowl a few years ago when nobody saw it coming? It was absolutely insane. That was one of my. I loved watching that game, and everybody else hated it, but I enjoyed that game so much, and I thought it was one of the most impressive coaching feats in NFL history, really. Just being able to absolutely dominate that team that was walking up and down the field all season against anybody they played against. Just really thinking about how he would have to design his defense to be able to stop what they were doing. With that being said, they sat through meetings years together. He had Brady tell him every single thing that he did not like. He has to know the exact sets that make Tom the most uncomfortable. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And if I know Bill Belichick well, he's not only going to utilize those, but he knows that this game, in terms of his career, is arguably the most important right behind any other Super Bowl he played in. This is in that tier right below that. Not even AFC Championship games or anything like that. It's literally the who made who game of all time. And there's no way he's going to come into it ill-prepared, or rather just running normal defensive schemes or simple stuff for the Buccaneers to just be able to pick apart that Brady's seen before. He's going to use stuff that Tom in the past has said he hates and is really hard to run plays against. And he's also going to come up with new stuff that I guarantee are looks that are either almost never seen or entirely new to like the modern game of football. And we're going to be watching it and we're going to be amazed just with what he comes up with. It'll be crazy to watch what he comes up with. I can't say that guarantees a win because, like you said, there is so much on the Buccaneers, like in terms of just talent and the fact that they do have the greatest player in NFL history on their team. But I'm not one who has seen Bill Belichick just curl up into a ball and just get walked all over when he's in a big game situation. He usually rises to the occasion, and this is as big of a game as you can have in the regular season for his career. Um, the last issue then is just how effectively and more importantly efficiently can he have his offense move down the field. If he can get that, I'm sure he'll be plenty creative enough to give himself an opportunity to win this game. Now, with all that being said, I'm leaving it just at an opportunity because still the Buccaneers roster is significantly better than the Patriots. But because of the fact that I've seen him rise to the occasion before, I don't feel ridiculous picking the Patriots at all. I'll pick the Patriots, and I'll say it's still gonna be a tough game for them to win, but I'm picking them.
I thought you were gonna go with the Buccaneers, and I was gonna say, like, with how hyped you are about this game, it's gonna be disappointing if the Buccaneers just win it like 48-14 or something.
And they could, because the Patriots still have a lot of stuff going against them. But it just seems I can't imagine that Belichick has not been planning for this all offseason. And like I said, I'm sure Brady has too, but there's a difference between being the head coach of a team and the quarterback of a team, because Brady's not getting final say on every single thing the Bucs do this Sunday.
Maybe
not on the defensive side of the ball, definitely not, and not on special teams either. He may have a pretty big sway in the offense, but I would doubt that he even has final say over what happens there, unless he's audibling every time they get to the line of scrimmage.
I know that there's one man on that Buccaneers team that Bill Belichick cannot account for. That's Blaine Gabbert. So
That's
he better
true.
watch out.
That's
he better
true.
watch out.
That is a very good point. They could bring Kyle Trask in to play red zone quarterback. Something that we didn't even talk about. I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
Feels like we're obligated to do that every week.
Just mention that Kyle Trask is a great red zone prospect for the Bucs.
This would be a great game to get Kyle Trask in at red zone QB.
Okay. But with how long we talked about that game, I mean, it's kind of one of the most important games potentially. Like I said, even not just for Brady and Belichick, like just in terms of like what a regular season game can mean. I mean, can you think of one in our lifetimes that is really a bigger regular season game?
With a storyline going into it, I don't know, but I think this might not be bigger than it, but I think just size-wise, it might be like the next closest. That Rams Chiefs game on Monday night. It just showed like this is where the NFL is at now with offenses. This is the new norm for offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think.
And you see, I can appreciate both sides of the coin. I can appreciate watching that game, which was very entertaining, and also the game that I think was the same year of them losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like I love football either way. So yeah, I get that. I get where you're coming from. We do need to conclude with the Monday night game this week, though. And it's a good matchup. It's a really good matchup in terms of where these two teams are sitting, at least. Now we're gonna have some questions answered, I think, after Monday night. But the Raiders had to play the LA Chargers.
Yeah, the Vegas Raiders taking on the LA Chargers. My team of the offseason, the LA Chargers. The Chargers, they squeaked out a game against Kansas City, which very impressive. But Brandon Staley kind of let me down with his clock managing skills. I don't know if like Anthony Lynn teaches an online course or something.
How to be a Chargers head coach.
Yeah. It seems like the Chargers always just need to have that like situation at the end of games where they like lose it. For the longest time, it was Phillip Rivers just throwing game-ending interceptions, and then he was gone, so they needed Anthony Lynn to just like mismanaged the clock, and now he's gone, and they're like, Brandon, you're gonna have to do it for us.
You know how goofy like fan controlled football was like actually. I mean, it's pretty goofy. It's not like something that's definitely not going to be for the average football fan. It's just like people who really want some extra football to watch, basically. But I mean, geez, if there's one team that could actually use like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire type ask the audience button at some point in the game, I'm sure the Chargers would really appreciate it with how much they were really trying to screw themselves over at the end of that game to still give Kansas City a chance to win.
Yeah, and the Raiders, they haven't had any of these coaching problems.
This year.
So far this season. Gruden has managed everything about to the standard that I'd expect an NFL head coach to. The,
I have to. I'm sorry.
No, disagree with no evidence. No, do it.
The game against the Ravens is tough because I don't know, like, things like I mean, for us in high school, this was like a quarterback decision, but like, I don't know if John Gruden's like such the like controlling type that he would be like, "Hey, Derek, when you get to the line, make sure, or go on to this play, or go on 3 this play." Like, he's actually like even giving him like the cadence to go on. Because if there's one guy in the NFL that would probably try to get like that involved, it would be him, like you said. So, I mean, like, I just look back at that and how that overtime played out against the Ravens week 1. That whole thing was kind of messy coaching, but the past 2 weeks have been good for Raiders for John Gruden's standards.
There were 1 or 2 mistakes that I don't know if you can fully put on him, because it's, again, when they put the camera on him when he's calling in the play, it looks like he's having a full conversation with Derek Carr. So he might call in the cadence. But when I'm going with the Raiders here. I'm going with the Raiders to win this game. I just think Gruden, if it comes down to it, all of the Raiders games have been close in the end. With the Pittsburgh game was close for a while. It wasn't close in the end. But I think this game could be the same thing, and it'll come down to what coach knows how to manage clock better and knows when to call his timeouts. The one thing I could say for the Raiders is Daniel Carlson might still be in the net, and they won't have him ready there. But again, that's just that I think is his worst coaching decision. But that might not even be on him. That might be on the special teams coordinator to be like, "Hey, we could kick a field goal here on like 2nd or 3rd down, so be ready." And Carlson's just still standing there by the net, and then the press conference like, "Oh, why didn't you kick the field? Kicker was kicking into the net." It's like, yeah, that's where he's going to be on 2nd down if no one tells him to be ready. But yeah, I'm going with the Raiders here. I don't know why. It's something in my gut. I'm going with the Raiders as an upset in this game.
I like that. I'm fine with it. I mean, they're 3-0, so I don't feel like I can push against it too much. I can't believe you're picking against your Chargers though. That's the real thing. That's like I don't know. That's kind of messing with me a little bit.
The one game I've picked them so far this season, they lost.
Okay, fair. So you have to keep picking against the Chargers and the Bills the rest of the season. That's good to know. But yeah, so I'm basically, I think we kind of discussed it there. And we really discussed it more on yesterday's episode with talking about the Raiders last week, kind of my reasoning behind this of how I don't think they're a bad team, but I don't think they're the best 3-0 team. I think the Chargers are really on a steep incline. Like, they are trending way up. And I mean, like I said, kind of when you're feeling close about stuff, which quarterback gets you more excited? And I'm more excited about Justin Herbert than I am Derek Carr. That's not me being like you and just absolutely blasting somebody like Kirk Cousins, who's a plenty decent quarterback, just like Derek Carr is.
I've laid off of him a little bit.
I know. I just want to make it clear that I'm not putting Derek Carr on blast right now. I'm just saying that the Justin Herbert like hype wagon is in full swing, and I'm hopping on board. Him, Kyler Murray, and maybe potentially Josh Allen, all headed to the same place.
Hey, Derek Carr has the potential to be the least captivating MVP winner since the 90s. Don't you take that away from him.
Yeah, I mean he just like Darnold has put up great numbers in the first 3 weeks of the season. Let's see if it continues. I'll take the Chargers for now. The Chargers are also the home team. Gives them a little bit of an advantage since I do think these teams are pretty close.
It's the Chargers. I wouldn't be surprised if that whole stadium is filled with black and silver.
It's not a terrible drive. You are right. But the season ticket numbers for the Chargers were actually pretty good this year. Which was surprising to see initially, but it's just the fact that people are excited for a new stadium and stuff like that.
They might have been a bundle with the Rams. You just got both of them, so that might be the case.
Yeah, no, I mean maybe they just wanted to sell all the tickets too, but and then it would definitely be a crowd of silver and black because those tickets in Vegas are expensive, and if you can travel to LA, travel a little further and get much cheaper tickets, it may be worth it. Maybe you're right. If that place is filled to the brim with silver and black, it may hurt the Chargers. Or maybe the Chargers are used to it. I mean, there's a lot of variables in this game. And
yeah, I mean, they just won an Arrowhead, so maybe the crowd wouldn't be that big of a factor.
I mean, yes. But also, I mean, like I was saying, there's plenty of variables in this game, and I think it shows pretty clearly that you're picking against one of your favorite teams, and we're picking against each other as well. It's not a clear game to see who's going to be the winner, but it's definitely a great Monday Night Football matchup.
Oh yeah.
So, you all set?
Aren't you going to ask me what's going to make me look really stupid this week?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Thank you for making sure that we got this in.
Of course.
Yes. Please tell me.
I'll look really stupid if Jacoby Brissett holds something really personal against the Colts. That's gonna make me look really. If he has some pent up aggression against the city of Indianapolis, I'm gonna look really stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna look really stupid if the graph of sign doesn't continue for the Saints this season, and they actually start going up and just start playing well. And the Giants don't beat them, which asking the Giants to beat anyone is a big ask. So, yeah, I'm not feeling great about this, but I mean, hey, I need to pick a few more upsets to try to win every game. I want a solid 16-0 1 week. That's what we're going for here. I want 1 week where I can say I went 16-0, and I need to make some of the tough decisions to figure that out. So, when the Saints win by 20, I won't be shocked, but I mean, I've got to pick the Giants.
Hey, it's the same with me and the Bills just smacking Houston this week. So,
okay, now you all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.